What's up, guys? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My views do not match my subscriber count. I have millions of views on this YouTube channel and only thousands of subscribers, which means a lot of people take my information for granted. I'm asking you if my videos help you to subscribe and show some love. I don't have to make this content for everybody. I choose to. It's really nice to have my back scratched. That's all I'm saying. If you want to take things further, hype the video, give me some love. You can donate to the channel. We put it all back into the channel, whether it's buying motorcycles or parts, whatever the case is. Join my membership program for a monthly fee. It's really cheap. All of that helps, guys. That's all I'm saying. Today, I am going to teach you how to synchronize a parallel twin engine. It doesn't matter if it's a V-twin or a parallel twin. There's only 2 carburetors, which means there's 1 screw adjustment. If you had 4 carburetors, you would have 3 screw adjustments. This is a really simple engine to vacuum sync. I'm going to be using some regular dial gauges instead of mercury gauges. All I'm looking for is a much cleaner idle. I just want to clean up the idle a bit. That's what we're aiming to do here. So I don't know how to out of sync these are. I haven't checked it since I bought it. I got new carburetors, popped them on, didn't synchronize them when I put them on. Noticing some little things that would lead me to believe that the carbs are just slightly out of sync. So today, we're going to see if they are, or I'm just in my own head. So, without further ado, I'll see you guys in a second. Bear with me, guys. We got a little talking that we have to do before we get started. I know talking stuff is boring, but we kind of have to. That's part of this. So because we're only going to be using 2 gauges, these are eBay gauges. They're very cheap. I have only zeroed out this one and this one, so they are identical. So before we get started, both of these are zeroed out. By the end of this, we want these 2 to be bouncing lightly in unison as close as we can get them. We're not going to be using these other 2, so I don't have them connected. It only has 2 carburetors and 1 adjustment screw, which makes your life much, much simpler. Now, oops, well, look at that. I was going to do this real fast. Hold on a sec. Let me fix this real quick. My apologies. I had to fix my laser pointer so you guys can see what I'm doing, because if I do this, it makes it a lot easier to be able to tell without a finger like, look, see that? That thing down there? Yep, nope, we're going to simplify your life. So, let's come over here. What you're going to do is disconnect your 2 vacuum lines that hook to the carbs. Number 1 vacuum line is right here on this carburetor. I don't know if you guys can see that. I have no idea where this is focusing. That would be number 1 right there. And number 2 is on the identical side over here. Boom. If I can get on it, there we go. Number 2, and that hooks directly to the front of the carb right there. So, our 2 vacuum lines are going to be running down to here. These basically allow these needles to bounce. What you need to do is figure out in your manual what your idle settings are supposed to be when synchronizing. And you also always want to let your bike get up to operating temperature before you start the synchronization process. You also need to zero out your gauges. If you get a set of gauges like this and you don't buy mercury gauges, there's a little tiny screw right there, a little flathead screw. Turning it either way will zero out your gauges. You need 2 of these gauges to match each other before you get started. These tighten the needles down. I have them loose right now because we need to let this warm up and they're going to be bouncing. And first I need to let this thing get up to operating temperature. So once we do that, we're going to come down to this screw right here. Everybody's carb is a little bit different, but should have 1 adjustment screw. This one, this is hard to show you guys from this angle. How about that? Oh my goodness, this is hard to show you. Every time I move, I'm in the way. Right there. That is the, see, it wants to keep showing my finger. How frustrating. That screw down there. Apparently my laser pointer is not going to do what I need it to do. Come on. There we go. That screw down there. Yeah, I have no access to that screw without, like, getting something in the way here. Right there. That screw. Right there. Gosh. That was painstakingly difficult to get to that screw. And if you thought that was difficult, I have to get this screwdriver down to that screw to make adjustments. Remember, when you're making adjustments, right, left, both of them are going to have an influence on what these do. But objectively, what we're trying to do is get these to identically line up. That is when they are synchronized. This may only provide a really reasonable bass tune, bass synchronization, rather than mercury gauges. Mercury gauges will be a lot more accurate, but this thing has such a scrap idle that I really want to try to correct that idle a little bit, even if it's just a baseline synchronization. I think it's better than what came from factory, so we're going to do that. So you got to be careful when you're putting pressure down here, because when you're turning this screw, you can't put any pressure on it. You can't push down because that'll give it throttle. We don't want a racing throttle. You just have to make very minute turns left or right, and that's going to make all the difference on this. You guys aren't going to see what I'm doing, but I'm going to be talking you through what I'm doing on the microphone. That way you have an idea of what's happening when I'm turning it right or I'm turning it left. So let me warm up the machine. I'll get my tripod ready. I'll put you guys right in front of the tripod. I'll stick my screwdriver down there once we're warmed up, if it needs to even be synchronized. If these are both lined up, I'm just going to call it a day, and that'll be the end of it. I hope I get to show you a synchronization today. But if not, I can throw it out of whack, I guess, and then I'll show you how to pull it back into, you know, a reasonable idle. I'll try to show you what it does going both ways. Let's get started. Alrighty guys, so it has reached pretty much operating temperature. On my bike, it calls for 1300 RPMs for synchronization, and as you can see, these are not quite lined up. They're also bouncing a lot, and I'm going to show you how to solve that bouncing issue, because as you can see, this one's getting pretty wild the more it warms up. So we're just going to go ahead and tighten this down a little bit. That one's all over the map. There we go. Well, we're going to tighten this one down a little bit. As you can see, this one's starting to go a little haywire again. The more it warms up, the worse it gets. Tighten it down some more. More. The other one's starting to go wild now, the more it warms up. We need that to just be bouncing a little bit. So as this bike warms up, you can see they start getting really screwy. I'm going to go ahead and tighten this one down until we get that bounce under control a bit. There we go. Going to loosen it just a tad. I'm going to loosen this one a tad because we need a little bit more play in this. We need them to both be about bouncing the same. Alright, I'm going to tighten this one down just a tad bit. There we go, and we're going to tighten that one down just a tad bit. Just a small amount of movement. There we go. Alright, so I have a pretty good idea of what needs to happen here. So as you can see, the bike has reached warm-up status now. I have these crunched down so there's just a tad bit of movement, and I can see that they're definitely out of whack. Not a ton, but they're out of whack. So I'm going to go ahead and try to adjust this while I have you guys on camera. Now remember, if I put any pressure on this, it'll make the idle go up, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to turn it to the right a little bit here, if I can. That was to the right. Take it more to the right. Look at that. I went too far. Hold on. That's me backing it off a little bit to the left. I just kept going right. We are so close to being dead on. That is pretty darn close. What would you guys say? I would say that's pretty close. So now I'm going to bring the idle up to where it should. That's where the idle should be. Now that we've got it back up to idle, I'm going to readjust it one more time. And there you go, guys. Pretty much completely dialed in, maybe just a tad bit off. I can probably adjust that. The right one looks like it's just slightly off. I'm going to go ahead and turn my idle up just a bit more. We're still at operating temperature. I'm going to turn my idle up just a tad, and we're going to make one final adjustment to this before I turn it all off. I'm going to get it back up to 1300 RPMs. Make sure I'm not seeing things. I think I'm good. I don't think I'm going to tamper with it any further. But there you go. It should be extremely responsive. It already sounds healthier. It sounds happier. The engine sounds like it's more synchronized. You should be able to blip the throttle now easily. Super responsive. Very, very happy. That's exactly how it should be. So I will take it. Probably brought my idle up just a tad. Make sure they're still aligned. We're still good to go. That's how you properly synchronize. I apologize, my phone overheated and turned off on me there, but I hope that helps you guys. Like I said, just minor adjustments every once in a while you're setting them. If you think you got them accurate, just blip the throttle, make sure they both settle again in the same spot, and you're good to go. Bike needs to be at operating temperature. Make sure that you're set at your correct RPMs. You don't see this bouncing around now. It's not all over the place. A good sign that you need synchronization is that your RPM gauge will be bouncing around and fluctuating a lot. That tells you that you're just slightly out of sync. This one is holding a very, very steady idle. So I hope that helps you guys. Remember, you have to have an external fuel tank to normally be able to do this, so get yourself a little emergency tank. These vacuum gauges can be purchased on eBay. I'll put the purchase link in there for you guys. And it's literally that simple to do a parallel twin engine. Now, if this was 4 carburetors, it's a little more difficult, but it's still not that hard. Stop paying shops to do this stuff. It's really, really simple to do yourself, guys. So I know now that this bike is synchronized. These were brand new carburetors that I installed, and I didn't synchronize them when I first put them in. I regret that now because, man, it sounds way, way better. It just sounds like a much happier bike now. I should have done that from the get-go. I was being lazy and chose not to, so there's that. Yeah. Anyways, guys, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, show me some love. I make these videos for you guys. I don't make them for me. I already know how to do this stuff. My job is to teach you and help you save money. And once you save some of that money, feel free to make a small donation to the channel for the information. That way I can keep buying cool projects like this and continue showing the rest of the world how to fix this stuff. We literally take all that money and put it back into the channel. That's what we do. So if you want to help this channel because it helped you, you guys know how to do it. And I'll catch you on the flip. Toodles.